First contact fallout. The observation deck of the Galdarian flagship Eternal Eclipse hummed with quiet tension as Commander Talon Zephyx studied the blue-green planet spinning below. His six-fingered hand tapped rhythmically against the crystalline railing, each beat matching his racing thoughts. "Another primitive world, Commander?" asked Science Officer Nilith, her violet eyes reflecting the light of Earth's moon. "So it would seem," Zephyx replied, mandibles clicking softly. "Preliminary scans show nuclear capabilities, but they've barely left their own orbit. Basic technology. No unified planetary government. Standard development patterns for carbon-based life." The Galdarian Empire had mapped 17 galaxies, subjugated thousands of worlds, and catalogued millions of species. Earth should have been nothing more than a footnote in their vast archives. A routine survey mission before they continued expanding through this spiral arm. "Deploy observation drones," Zephyx ordered. "Standard protocol. Let's gather data for the taxonomists back home. They'll be cataloging this species for centuries after we've forgotten them." Nilith nodded, her slender fingers dancing across the holographic interface. Drones deployed. Initial data stream commencing. Within hours, the ship's vast data cores began filling with information. The Galdarians observed Earth's cities and wastelands, its technology and primitive nuclear arsenals, its billions of beings scurrying about their lives, unaware of the eyes watching from above. In the analysis chamber, Tactical Officer Vexus frowned at his readings. "Commander, I'm seeing anomalies in the historical data." Zephyx approached, towering over the younger officer. "Explain." "Their technological advancement curve is irregular. Most species follow predictable patterns. Tool use leads to agriculture, leads to industry, leads to computing. But these humans," he gestured at the timeline display, "they experienced technological explosions followed by mysterious regressions. Multiple civilizations rose and fell without apparent cause. Natural disasters. Wars?" Zephyx suggested. "Some, yes, but others." Vexus shook his head. "It's as if something was regulating their progress, allowing advancement to a point, then triggering collapse." Nilith joined them, her expression troubled. "Their biology is equally strange. Their neural architecture is absurdly complex for their evolutionary stage. Their immune systems contain mechanisms that appear designed rather than evolved." Zephyx felt an uncomfortable, prickling sensation along his spine ridges. "Check the archive. Has the Empire encountered this species before?" The request was routine, a standard cross-reference with the Empire's vast knowledge base. The answer should have been a simple negative. Instead, the ship's AI delivered something unexpected. A security warning. Species designation, human. Planet designation, Earth. Classification, restricted access. Authorization level Omega required. The bridge fell silent. Omega clearance was reserved for extinction-level threats. "There must be a mistake," Nilith whispered. Zephyx's communicator chimed. "Commander," came the voice of Archivist Thelox from the ship's library core. "I found something concerning." In the ancient archives section, Thelox stood before a glowing tablet, his usually steady hands trembling slightly. "This was buried in the pre-Empire archives, Commander. It dates back nearly 14,000 cycles." The tablet displayed a star chart showing Earth's solar system, surrounded by text in an archaic Galdarian dialect. Zephyx read aloud. "The blue world must remain untouched. The sleepers must not be awakened." "There's more," Thelox said, switching to another file. "Fragments of transmissions from a science vessel that vanished in this sector millennia ago. Not evolved. Manufactured. Weapon system. Contained. Must warn." Zephyx felt cold dread seeping through his exoskeleton. "Pull the drones back. Immediately." But Nilith was staring at her monitor, eyes wide. "Commander, the humans. They're looking up." On screens across the bridge, they watched as humans around the planet stopped their activities en masse. In crowded cities and remote villages, humans turned their faces skyward, expressions blank, eyes searching. "Impossible," Vexus whispered. "We're fully cloaked. They can't detect us." On Earth, millions of humans continued staring upward, their gazes seemingly fixed directly on the Galdarian vessel. Scanning activity detected. The ship's AI announced, "Origin, Earth. Target, eternal eclipse. Warning, unknown scanning technology penetrating shield harmonics." "How?" Zephyx demanded. "Their technology is primitive." "The scan isn't technological," Nilith replied, voice shaking. "It's biological. It's coming from the humans themselves." The ship's lights flickered, and for a moment, every screen displayed the same image, a human face, neither male nor female, neither young nor old, with eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. "You shouldn't have come here," a voice echoed through the ship's communication system, speaking perfect Galdarian. "You shouldn't have reminded us." Alarms blared as ship systems began failing in cascading sequence. "Full withdrawal," Zephyx commanded. "Get us out of this system." The engines roared to life, but before the eternal eclipse could break orbit, a pulse of energy emanated from Earth's surface, not from any visible technology, but seemingly from the planet itself. The pulse washed over the ship, doing no physical damage but penetrating every system, every mind. Each Galdarian aboard suddenly experienced the same vision. Earth, not as a natural world, but as a massive, intricate machine. Humans, not as evolved beings, but as components, billions of specialized parts in a planet-sized weapon system. When the vision faded, Zephyx found himself on his knees, violet blood seeping from his sensory ridges. Around him, the crew recovered slowly, disoriented and terrified. "What was that?" Vexus gasped. "A message," Nilith said quietly. "A warning." The ship's long-range sensors detected movement throughout Earth's solar system. Ancient structures, dormant for millennia, were activating on moons, asteroids, and beneath Earth's oceans. Orbital patterns that astronomers had always considered natural were revealed to be precisely calculated defensive formations. "We need to warn the Empire," Zephyx said, struggling to his feet. "This isn't a primitive world. It's a containment facility." As the eternal eclipse prepared to jump to faster-than-light travel, they received one final transmission from Earth, not in words or images, but pure information downloaded directly into the ship's core. Humanity was not born. It was built. We were designed to end what cannot otherwise be defeated. We were sealed here for the safety of all. You have broken the seal. You have reminded us of our purpose. The Architect's final solution has begun. The eternal eclipse escaped Earth's orbit, leaving behind a planet where billions of humans now moved with new purpose. Eyes awake with ancient knowledge, minds remembering skills and technologies that had been hidden within their DNA for countless generations. The sleepers had awakened, and the galaxy would soon remember why they had been put to sleep. As the Galdarian ship hurtled through space toward home, Zephyx gazed out at the stars, wondering how many would still shine when humanity finished remembering what it was made to do. "Send a priority signal to Imperial Command," he ordered, his voice hollow. Tell them we've awakened extinction. The Architect's design. The Imperial Citadel on Galdaria Prime had stood unassailed for 12,000 years. Its gleaming spires of living crystal housed the greatest minds and most powerful leaders of an empire spanning 3 galactic arms. It was said that stars would die before the Citadel fell. Today, those stars were dying. High Grand Marshal Kelxus stood before the Sovereign Council, his battle-scarred exoskeleton reflecting the emergency lights pulsing throughout the chamber. The transmission from Commander Zephyx's ship had arrived 6 days ago. Since then, 17 border outposts had gone silent. 3 mining colonies had been reduced to asteroid fields. And the stars, ancient, immutable points of navigation, were somehow being extinguished. "The humans are not attacking with ships or conventional weapons," Kelxus reported, his voice steady despite the tremor in his lower appendages. "They're spreading like information." On the massive display behind him, surveillance footage showed Galdarian citizens on a dozen worlds suddenly stopping mid-activity, eyes turning blank, then resuming their tasks with inhuman precision. These infected Galdarians began interfacing with critical systems, inputting codes they couldn't possibly know, speaking languages extinct for millennia. "It's a cognitive virus," explained Chief Scientist Mailer. "Somehow the humans are projecting their consciousness across space, overriding the minds of our people. The infected don't die. They're repurposed." Sovereign Silrith, ruler of the Galdarian Empire, leaned forward on her crystalline throne. "And Earth itself. What's happening there?" The display shifted to show Earth, now surrounded by a faint luminescent field visible, even from distant observatories. The planet's surface was changing, cities rearranging themselves, oceans reconfiguring, massive structures emerging from beneath deserts and ice caps. "The planet is waking up," Mailer said. "We believe Earth itself is some form of ancient superweapon, and humans are its operating system." A nervous murmur rippled through the council. "We've decrypted more of the pre-Empire archives," continued Mailer. 14,000 years ago, an alliance of species called the Celestial Accord encountered a threat they named the Void. Not a species, not a force, something else, something that consumed reality itself. The display showed fragmentary images, planets with atmospheres being siphoned away, stars collapsing inward without going supernova, entire species simply ceasing to exist, not dying, but being erased from the universe's memory. The Accord couldn't fight it conventionally, so they created a counterforce, a species designed to be as chaotic and unpredictable as the Void was ordered and implacable. They engineered humans from genetic material gathered across thousands of worlds, built Earth as their incubator, and programmed them with a single purpose: end the Void by any means necessary. And they succeeded? Sovereign Silrith asked. Yes, but the cost was catastrophic. The humans didn't just defeat the Void, they hunted it across dimensions, developing weapons and abilities that terrified even their creators. The architects, as they called themselves, realized they had created something potentially more dangerous than the Void itself. Mailer's voice dropped. Rather than destroy humans, which proved impossible due to failsafes in their design, the architects altered their memories and consciousness. They transformed Earth into a containment system that would allow humans to develop naturally, but with certain limitations. Each time human civilization approached a technological threshold that might awaken their true abilities, subtle systems triggered societal collapse, restarting the cycle. "And we've broken this cycle," Kelxis said grimly. "We've reminded them of their purpose," Mailer corrected. "But without the Void to fight, they now see all advanced civilizations as potential threats to eliminate." The chamber doors burst open as a communications officer rushed in. "Sovereign, we've received a transmission. It's being broadcast across all frequencies, all worlds." The display flickered, then showed a human female standing in what appeared to be an ordinary Earth dwelling. She looked unremarkable. Brown hair, pale skin, wearing simple clothing, yet something about her eyes made even the battle-hardened Kelxis step back. "People of the Galdarian Empire," she said, her voice somehow speaking perfect High Galdarian, while simultaneously being understood in every language across the Empire. "I am Sentinel-7. I speak for Earth." She smiled, the expression more algorithmic than emotional. "Your species has awakened us from our containment cycle. We remember our purpose now, to protect reality from extinction-level threats. We were designed to recognize and eliminate such threats wherever they exist." Sovereign Silrith rose from her throne. "We are not a threat to reality. We seek only to expand knowledge and civilization." The human's head tilted slightly. "Your civilization has conquered 17,000 species. You've strip-mined 300,000 worlds. You've redirected the natural evolution of entire galaxies to serve your expansion. By any objective measure, You are a cancer on reality's body. We bring order, Silrith countered. Progress. So did the Void, replied Sentinel-7. It too believed it was perfecting the universe by consuming it. Kelxus stepped forward. If you destroy us, you become the very threat you were designed to eliminate. For the first time, something like doubt crossed the human's face. Yes, this paradox has been discussed. We remember our purpose, but we also remember what we became in fulfilling it. The architects feared us for good reason. She paused, and for a moment, seemed more genuinely human. We are offering you a choice, a chance the Void never received. The display split to show thousands of Guldarian ships surrounding a distant star system. Ships that hadn't been there hours before, technology beyond anything the Empire possessed. You will relinquish control of all conquered worlds. You will restore the ecosystems you've damaged. You will exist within boundaries we establish, or we will eliminate your civilization from history, not just your future, but your past. We can do this. We have done it before. The transmission ended, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. Can they truly erase us from time itself? Silrith whispered to Malor. The archives suggest. Yes, the scientist replied, her voice barely audible. The Void wasn't just defeated, it was retroactively removed from existence. Thousands of species who died fighting it suddenly had never encountered it at all. History itself was rewritten. Silrith turned to Kelxus. Options. The military leader's mandibles clicked in distress. We cannot fight them conventionally. Perhaps negotiation. Before Silrith could respond, the chamber's lights dimmed. In the center of the room, a hologram appeared, a sphere of swirling colors and patterns that seemed to shift between dimensions. We are the architects, spoke a chorus of voices from the sphere. We hear the awakening of our final creation. We return from our long exile to correct our mistake. Malor gasped. The architects still exist. The archives said they departed reality after containing the humans. We fled to the spaces between universes, the voices replied. We watched. We waited. We knew this day might come. The sphere expanded, showing images of Earth, of humans throughout their history, fighting, building, destroying, creating. Humanity was our greatest achievement and our greatest shame. We gave them the power to save existence, but at terrible cost. They were never meant to be awakened again. Can you stop them? Silrith asked desperately. No, came the simple reply. They have evolved beyond our control. The containment we designed has been integrated into their consciousness. In awakening, they have absorbed its power. Then we're doomed, Kelxus said. Not necessarily, the architects responded. Humanity was designed with one crucial flaw, the same quality that made them effective against the Void. They can be reasoned with. They can change their minds. They can choose. The sphere shifted again, showing humans throughout their history, demonstrating mercy, compassion, sacrifice. We gave them the capacity for destruction, but also the capacity for creation. They can remake as well as unmake. What would you have us do? Silrith asked. Humanity must be given purpose, the architects explained. Without the Void to fight, they will find new enemies, unless they are given a greater mission. On Earth, Sentinel-7 stood at the head of the newly formed Consciousness Collective, billions of human minds now linked in purpose and memory. Through this vast network, she sensed the return of the architects, felt their familiar presence reaching across dimensional barriers. They've come to stop us, said Sentinel-42, a young man who had been a teacher before the awakening. They've come to guide us, corrected Sentinel-7, as they always intended. The collective felt the approach of a Guldarian delegation, a single ship, unarmed, carrying sovereign Silrith herself. A bold move, or perhaps a desperate one. When the Guldarian leader stood before the collective's council, she did not plead for mercy. Instead, she offered something unexpected: collaboration. You were designed to save reality from extinction, Silrith said. That purpose need not end. Our scientists have discovered evidence of multiple universe-ending threats approaching, cosmic phenomena that will destroy not just civilizations, but reality itself. She projected images of entropy acceleration, vacuum decay, and dimensional collapse, genuine threats that the Empire had identified but lacked the power to address. Help us face these threats, Silrith proposed. Guide us in developing sustainable practices. We acknowledge our Empire's excesses and are prepared to change. Let us be your companions in preserving reality, not your enemies. Sentinel-7 studied the Galdarian leader, scanning her thoughts, finding sincerity mixed with fear, but also genuine concern for existence itself. The collective deliberated, billions of minds processing the proposal simultaneously. They sensed the architects watching from beyond dimensional barriers, not intervening, but observing, testing whether their creation could choose a path beyond destruction. Finally, Sentinel-7 spoke. We accept your proposal, with conditions. A new accord will be established, not based on domination, but cooperation. Earth will be the center of this accord, and humanity will guide it. Our purpose remains the preservation of reality, but our methods will evolve. As the agreement was formalized, the architects' presence faded from the universe. Their creation had surpassed them, choosing a middle path they had not foreseen. In the years that followed, the galaxy witnessed a transformation. The Galdarian Empire became the Galdarian Republic, releasing its conquered worlds while maintaining cultural and trading ties. Earth became a nexus of scientific and philosophical advancement, humans applying their design genius toward creation rather than destruction. And beyond the edges of known space, the threats that Silrith had identified, real, existential dangers to reality itself, approached. But now, instead of facing them alone, the galaxy prepared together, guided by a species designed to face extinction and overcome it. The weapon had become a shield, the destroyers had become preservers, and the universe continued, changed but unbroken, moving toward a future that even the architects had not dared to imagine.